Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a weekend. I just spent the weekend in Vegas for Erika Jayne's opening residency at the House of Blues. I just came back from Sheena Shay's live podcast taping last night. Yes, I did see Adam and Jason, and yes, security did have to intervene. And we do have a little bit of tea on Jax, Schwartz, Stassi. Let's get into it because it's a lot. Oh, hi, it's me, Zack Peter, pop culture junkie, reality TV insider, published author, and host of the No Filter with Zack Peter podcast. Here I'll bring you all the latest news on the Real Housewives, deep dives into celebrity legal scandals, and unfiltered convos with your favorite stars. I've got you covered. And yes, I always keep receipts. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for all the latest tea. Now, let's dive in. And dive in we shall we? I apologize. My voice is a little hoarse today. It was a long weekend. We were living it up in Vegas. We did Erika Jayne Friday night, Saturday night, Sheena show on Sunday night. I have to tell you, the last night was a little wild, and I'm still trying to piece together what I want to say about last night, which was Sheena's show, which obviously you guys know who I ran into. I'm You know what? Fuck it. We're just gonna mention it all. Okay. So, but I like let's start with let's recap the weekend. So we'll start with Vegas. I'll tell you a bit about the residency. We'll get into last night, and then we'll talk about some of the other Vanderpump tea. But so basically, flew to Vegas. Erika Jayne opening weekend. We went Friday night, which was opening night. I went with my friend Steven. You guys may know him as Faces by Bravo. I went with my friend Andy, who's a reporter at What's Trending, and then Andy brought his boyfriend Ernesto, who I also love and adore. Ernesto is he's not a Bravo fan. He doesn't watch Housewives, right? But he still came to have a good time. I mean, it was Vegas, so we did opening night, which had a blast. I was probably a little too lit, so I wasn't fully aware of like what was happening. But we did Vegas. We had a blast. We tried to get into the after party at the Hakkasan, but it was a little, I don't know, it was chaotic. But we at the last minute decided we were going to go see Zed that night, so we did House of Blues, which is where Erika was performing at the House of Blues in Vegas, which is at Mandalay Bay. Shout out to Mandalay Bay because they did hook us up with some rooms for the weekend. So Mandalay Bay was actually kind of nice. So we did that. We did opening night. It was actually the show was great. She's such a performer that like anybody can come to the show and enjoy it. So she performed a lot of her old songs, Hot Pleasure, Expensive, How Many F's Do I Give? Like all of those, all the bops, all the hits, Cars. We like the cars that go boom. We like the cars that go boom. Drop down candy paint, flex on them every day. I can't sing, guys. Sorry, my voice is killing me. But it was great. It was a variety show. She had a few costume changes. She had these hot dancers that everybody was obsessed with. So I feel like the gays are gonna love the show. The ladies will love the show. We had such a blast. Like I said, I didn't remember the show too much on Friday because I was a little lit, but I also knew we were going back on Saturday. But we did both nights, and both nights were such a different experience, but also still so much fun, which I feel like is Vegas. And Ernesto, who I mentioned, came and is not a Bravo fan and never watched Beverly Hills. Probably had the most fun and was like obsessed with Erika by the end of it. So night one, we finished the night with Zed, which was a whole thing and a whole process because in Vegas, like they're very mindful of like what you're allowed to wear into certain nightclubs or whatever. So poor Steven at one point, like he was in shorts and a tank top and like had to literally go back to our hotel to change so that we can get in to the nightclub to go and see Zed. But it was fun. And then there was like some guy from Wizards of Waverly Place that I guess now he's like a porn star. I had no idea who he was. And like I said, I was pretty blasted that night. I had no clue who he was. And then when I saw the photos the next morning, I was like, "Oh wait, did we meet Zed? Is that Zed?" And they were like, "No, Zach, you're drunk." But so Friday night was fun. Saturday we just did like a chill. Ernesto and I are morning people, so we went and had Bloody Marys by the pool. Then eventually, once Andy woke up, we did a pool day at Mandalay Bay. Then we went to the Aria and had a full spa day, and then we got ready and did Erika night too. Night 2 was incredible. Teddy and Tamara were there, so we got to see Teddy and Tamara, hang out with them. After the show, we got to go backstage and say hi to Erika and, congratulate her on opening weekend because she killed it. The music was great. The show was great. Like, it was so performative, and the theatrics and the costumes, like, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think anybody that wants to do a Vegas show, like, go and you will live it up and have a blast. We did want to go to one of the Vanderpump restaurants. We didn't get a chance to. And they were also super booked. So we didn't do Vanderpump Paris or Vanderpump Garden, but we did a lot of the House of Blues. Opening weekend was great, though. After the show, night 2 is when we got to hang out with Teddy and Tamara. And I was even asking Tamara, I was like, what did you think of Taylor Armstrong's crazy, sloppy, slurry video, which was truly unhinged, but also me the entire weekend. Like, literally me all weekend. But I had fun. We had such a great boys trip. Teddy and Tamara were so sweet to us. I literally like said hi to Tamara and she's like, hi. And I'm like, it's so nice to meet you. And she's like, good. I didn't know if you actually liked me. I'm like, yes, I like you. Like, I never thought that you didn't think that I liked you, but I'm hoping we can do a podcast swap because they were a hoot. But Vegas was a hit. It was a blast. I recommend the show. Bet It All on Blonde, Erika Jayne, House of Blues Vegas. I would say do it, do it, do it. Do it to it. Okay, that was Vegas. Then I had to come back. I flew home Sunday and I had to drop off my bags, get ready, because then I had Sheena show, which was last night. And Sheena was doing a live taping of Shenanigans at the Bourbon Room. You guys know I love the Bourbon Room. I've done shows at the Bourbon Room before. That's where I celebrated my 30th birthday. We did the live show at the Bourbon Room. Sold out. Shout out. Love the Bourbon Room. So when Sheena texted me and she's like, hey, I'm having a show at the Bourbon Room and I would love for you to come, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yes, absolutely. I'll be there. I'm more than happy to support you. She's always been so supportive of me. So, anytime I can go, I even invited friends and like bought them tickets to go to the show because I wanted to support her. And I know like every ticket sale, like matters. So yes, I genuinely wanted to go and be there and support. I did just a few days find out that Adam and Jason were going to be there. Adam from Up and Adam, you guys know we had a friendship. We were really close. We did a tour together last year. We had a falling out, whatever. So I haven't seen Adam since, I'm trying to remember. I think physically, when was the last time I like saw him? I mean, we kept up our friendship, but they live in Florida. I live in LA. That like we would only like talk, like we would text and talk every day and FaceTime all the time and whatever, but like physically see each other, I don't think we have since the New York show that we wrapped last year. Anyway, this was going to be the first time that we were actually together again since we had our falling out and whatever. So I brought my friend Jake to the show last night. And he doesn't really know Adam very much or whatever. I don't think he knows Adam that much, but like, he was my guest, whatever. So he knew it was going to be like kind of awkward. And I thought like the worst that was going to happen was like, we're going to see each other or we're going to ignore each other. It's going to be like a little shady, whatever. Or we were going to be like, hey, or it's going to be super fake. And it was going to be like, hey, how are you? Oh my God, amazing. Like, I didn't know, but I was like, I'm fully prepared to just like not have any communication, which cool, whatever. Right. Then so I walk in, obviously I see them. Cool, whatever, no biggie. We don't talk to each other. We end up getting seated at opposite ends of the room. And then we're watching the show. They're on one side, I'm on the other side. Um, Sheena put on a killer show. She opened up to Good as Gold. She then had Heather McDonald, or she had a couple of Vanderpump Bravo accounts that came up on the stage and played trivia. Then Heather McDonald came out, shaded Raquel. Heather was hilarious. I love Heather McDonald. Heather McDonald, the juice, the scoop. So good. Heather killed it and was like saying all the things that Sheena couldn't say because obviously they're filming Vanderpump Rules and whatever. But no, Heather was incredible. She killed it. She got off. Brock came on. Sheena and Brock played some games. They brought out Summer Moon. Like, it was an incredible show. She closed it with Apples, her new song. Hey, P.P.L.E. yes. How you like them? Hey, P.P.L.E. yes. How you like them? It's a great song. Like, Good as Gold is great, but her Apples is the jam. Apples is the vibe. So killed it, ended it with that show, whatever. Show wrap. So Ariana was there, Katie was there, Lala was there, James and Allie were there. Schwartz and Sandoval were not there. Billy Lee was not there. Kyle, their friend, the jeweler, he was there. I got to chat with him a bit because I was seated with Kyle and Ariana and Katie, and then James and Allie were at the end, and then Lala was seated on the other side where Adam and Jason were with Brock because they had the kids and it was close to the green room. So I'm assuming it was easier to bring the kids in and out of there because they had easier access to the green room. But so the show wraps. We have a good time. We all go downstairs into the green room and we're all just kind of hanging out, waiting for Sheena so we can like congratulate her and be like, "Yes, babe, you killed it, living life." So then we're all kind of down there waiting for Sheena. I'm like, wait, I don't know like where Sheena is. So I was like, you know what? Let me run up and grab her. Let me see if I can find her and let her know that like everybody, like Ariana, like everyone's downstairs. Like we're all just kind of hanging out and like I think everyone like wants to say bye, congratulate her, whatever. So I run back up into the showroom and I see her and I'm like, hey babe, everyone there a bunch of people are in the green room. I think they just wanted to like give you some flowers, whatever. She's like, okay, cool. And then I noticed MJ's there. And I was like, oh. And so I'm walking over to MJ, and that's where MJ was also hanging out in a group that Adam also happened to have been in. And so I walk over, I say hi to MJ. I'm kind of chatting with her, just like, hey, how are you? Didn't know you're gonna be here tonight, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, it's so weird because Adam was literally like standing 5 feet away from me, but like our backs were turned to each other. And I was like, it's so weird. I was like, but I feel like he killed it. He was like the MC for the night, so he like, welcomed Sheena on stage and then like did the Q&A and stuff, and I thought he did an incredible job, and I told MJ that, and I was like, I think like would it be weird if I just like paid him that compliment? Like I think that would be like a fine icebreaker. And she was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like go for it. And I was like, yeah. And so I would lean over to him. I'm like, hey babe, I just wanted to say you did great on stage, because I remember when we were on tour, he'd always talked about like having stage fright. And like, listen, stage fright is a real thing. I still get stage fright sometimes. So I know that like when you are, an opener and you're setting the tone like that's a really challenging job. And I thought he did a really good job. I laughed when he made a good joke, whatever. So I leaned over and I was like, hey, babe, I just wanted to let you know, I thought you did a great job tonight. You killed it on stage. Good to see you. He didn't respond. He kind of just like looked at me and kind of nodded. And I took that as like, okay, listen, olive branch, left that on the table, gave you some flowers, paid you a compliment that I thought was very well deserved. And yeah, it is what it is. And so I kind of was like, I just politely like walked away. And then in walking back into the showroom is when I ran into Jason. And, we kind of just started talking and it was really civil. It was really nice. We were having like a very mature, respectful conversation. It wasn't heated, it wasn't dramatic, it wasn't any of those things. Like we were just kind of like talking about like, okay, this is weird. We're acknowledging that this is weird. We're having, we're here to support Sheena. Like that's the intent for tonight, whatever, right? So we're chatting, and then this guy comes over and he's like, Jason, come on, you have to go. And then Jason's like, no, it's okay. Like we're talking, we're having a good moment. Like I'm fine, everything's okay. And then the guy leaves. And then maybe about like 2 minutes later, he comes back and brings Adam with him. And Adam sees that Jason and I are talking. And we are having a conversation about things, right? Because we're we weren't entirely on the same page of like what happened and what we remember happening in what order, right? And he was very upset about this text message. So he kept saying like the reason we haven't been able to repair is because you keep talking about us on your podcast. And I was like, I literally don't. I am yes now because now I'm like fuck it. Like if this is what's being, we're getting into it now, right? But I was like, yeah, I go on lives, and because we never officially addressed the fact that we're clearly not friends anymore, like people have questions, and it comes up in the Instagram lives and YouTube lives, and people have questions. It is what it is. And so I'm not like actively wanting to go out of my way to talk about you guys, but it does come up because we never addressed it, nor did we ever mend or work through anything. So whatever, we're having this conversation. He was really like, he's like, the only time that we ever talked about you was this text message that you had sent Adam, and we happened to be at BravoCon, and we shared that text message with other creators at dinner, which I found out about, and I know exactly who that text message was shared with. And I don't know how I feel about that because I feel like there was a lot of context. So earlier in that night, Adam had texted me and he's like, are you telling people that I'm giving you scoop on Jen Shaw from BravoCon? Because I didn't go to BravoCon. And I was like, no, I'm not telling anybody that you're giving me scoop on Jen Shah from BravoCon because we literally haven't even really spoken these past 2 weeks. And like, you're not the only friend that I have at BravoCon. So if I'm going on my podcast and talking about Jen Shah, like, I literally had a video from the after party that Jen Shah crashed. I wasn't getting like tea from him and telling people that I was getting tea from him because I wasn't, because he wasn't talking to me. Like, we weren't really talking at that point. Like, he was at BravoCon, I was here, whatever. And so he's like, well, people are telling me that you're going around saying that I'm giving you scoop on Jen Shah and insider information, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know where you heard that. I'm sorry you heard that, but that's not true. I've never told anybody that. And then I was like, it's weird that you're even like, we're even having this because I've like been trying to, we haven't even talked in the past couple of weeks, and I've been trying to work things out with you because we clearly have an issue that I want to work through. And he's like, we don't have an issue. You're making, like, you're being crazy. You're the one that's like creating an issue that doesn't exist. And I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking? Like, regardless, dude, I'm your friend. Like, can we just like have a conversation and work through this, right? Who cares about Jen Shah and whatever? So there was a text message that I did send during one of our fights, and this is the text message that Jason referenced last night, that I sent in the heat of the moment. And listen, I will own my shit, right? I said things that I wish I could take back or wish I didn't say when we would have our arguments or be in the heat of the moment of it. But so there was a moment where there was a rumor that somebody came to me with in the DMs, and they're like, I heard this thing. And I remember when I heard it, I was like, LOL, that's hilarious. But I don't think that that rumor is true. But I kind of just like kept it in my back pocket. I shut it down. I didn't, I don't think that I validated that rumor because I didn't believe that that rumor was actually true. And I believe I told this person that rumor wasn't true. And the rumor was about Adam. And Adam was my friend at that time. And I defended him. I didn't think it was worth like really bringing up because I thought it was a stupid rumor. So in one of our fights, though, I did bring it up and I was like, hey, by the way, if we're going there, then at least people aren't saying this about me. This is the word on the street. This is what people are saying, just so you know. I knew it would bother him. I knew that it would get under his skin. So I threw it on the table. I was always clear that I didn't believe the rumor and I shut the rumor down. I didn't repeat or share that rumor with anybody else. It came to me. I engaged in a conversation with this guy about it. I then took that information, maybe the delivery of how I told Adam that that rumor was being spread wasn't the best delivery, but it was in the heat of the moment. And listen, I fucked up. I shouldn't have done that at that moment. Jason says that that was a text message that was shown to these other people, to these other content creators at BravoCon. I don't know if I believe that because my recollection is that fight that we had where I threw that rumor out at him happened a few days after BravoCon. So the timeline of that's a little weird, but also why are you showing my text messages to other people and also clearly not showing your side of the text messages and this whole beef with Jen Shah that you made up out of left field that led us to that point where we were even in that place where then you're then sharing these text messages with other creators, whatever, right? And so we're talking about the Bravo context. We're talking about this rumor, which again, I never repeated, shared, or anything. Like the rumor just was a rumor. Later on, after we get into a fight, that's when I'm hearing that like they're spreading this rumor that I tried to sleep with Jason, and that's the real reason we had a falling out. Or then it became I tried to sleep with Adam, and that was the real reason that they had a falling out. Or I was trying to get in between their relationship somehow, which was never true. I've been very clear about that. That never happened. I talked about the deal with the show that we were supposed to have that he pulled out at the last minute, whatever. So Jason and I are kind of talking through all this thing very calmly, very calmly. Nobody's getting amped up. Nobody's getting heated. We're all kind of just having, this conversation. So Adam then sees Jason and I talking, immediately darts over to us and he's like, this is not happening. And I look at him and I turn to him and I'm like, babe, we're not having a bad conversation. Like, we're actually having a good, like, we're talking through some things and I think this is good. He's like, no, you're not talking through anything. He starts putting his finger in my face and starts raising his voice at me. And he's like, and don't babe me. He's like, don't babe me and don't give me flowers. I don't need any of that from you. And I'm like, my love, I don't know what is happening right now, but like, I'm very confused as to this aggression that's coming at me. Like, I literally just saw you and like paid you a compliment. I get it. You didn't want to receive it or whatever, but like that was genuine. It wasn't in front of a bunch of people. Like, I wasn't doing it to like, I literally was like, you're here, I'm here. Hi, by the way, I just want to say you did great. Hope you have a good night. Whatever. Starts getting in my face, raising his voice. And in my head, I'm standing there and I'm like, not the place or time. I'm like, don't take the bait, Zack. Don't do it, Zack. Don't do it, Zack. Don't do it. Like, I'm trying to, in my head, be like, because he's clearly trying to bait me into having something, right? And I'm very much like trying to not react because I know when I react, I react. And he's just like he's like, if you're upset that I didn't sign with our show, like that's your problem and you need to get over it already and figure out your own life and be good with your own life. And when he started throwing those jabs, I did say babe in my love. Brittany, sorry, and Brittany in the live chat. I did say that's how when I talk to my friends, I say babe, I say my love, I say love. Like, that's how I, speak to my friends. And Adam is somebody that I care about. Adam, I've said many times, and I was telling Jason this that last night before Adam interrupted us. I was like, yes, we're gonna fight. Like that, Adam was like my brother. That like, yes, we're going to fight. And the reason our fights are probably a little heavier is because I think we care about each other a lot. Like the friendship I believed was real, you know? So um so he started saying, and I'm literally like, we're not here for this. Luckily at that point, like the show was done, Sheena was gone. Like at this point, everything was like, it was like it was kind of wrapping everything up. But so I wouldn't reciprocate, and every time I wouldn't reciprocate, he would get louder and closer to my face until finally I snapped and I lost my shit. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but I know I then bucked up and was like, I think I made some jab about him just being on YouTube. I'm like, because when he referenced the show and made it seem like, because we were supposed to have a morning show together, which I later found out he was shopping around to somebody else shortly after our deal fell through. Um, but so he made it seem like I was salty that he didn't want to move forward with that show with me. And I'm like, you realize I still got my contract and I'm still doing fine. Like our show note didn't work out, fine, whatever. But like I'm still doing okay. I've moved on from that. I don't care about that show not coming to fruition because whatever. It wasn't meant to be like, but when he made it about that, that's when I was like, who the fuck do you think you are, dude? Like you're literally just someone on YouTube. Like what you're gonna allow your ego to get the best of you. And so yes, I did buck up. I did pop off. I'm sure my finger got in his face. And so at that point, that's when security then interjects and like, whoa, and they like had to separate us at that point. And then Adam starts yelling from across the bourbon room. He's like, kick him out, get him out. He's just a fan. That's just a fan. Kick him out of here. And I'm literally like, what are you doing right now, dude? Like, are you kidding me? Like, the only two interactions I had before this blew up was the first one where I went and paid you a compliment. And then the second one where I was having a very calm, rational, logical, adult, mature conversation with your husband. Like, and also, like, what are you doing? Like, I guess they were working there because they were like helping to seat people and helping like with the set list and stuff. And Jason said that they, I guess, helped organize the show for Sheena. So I'm like, if you are working on this event, why are you causing a scene at this event? Like, it was literally insane. And so my friend Jake like is like, okay, let's get out of here. But Adam's like telling security to throw me out, and I'm literally like, I didn't even do anything. Like, what? So we then walk back to the green room, and I was like, let me get my stuff, let me take a beat, whatever. So we take a quick beat and then decide like, all right, at this point, like we're just gonna leave. We're just gonna head out. I'm leaving the bourbon room, not realizing they're literally right there. I don't know who he was with. He was with like a group of people, but it was just like insanity. And so I got in my Uber and I went home and I was like thinking about all of this. And I'm like, that like literally happened. Like, this is like what they filmed for Vanderpump Rules. Like, why are we the ones fighting? Like, it was just literal insanity to me. I can't even like I've tried again. There was no need for us to get to that point because I'm like, it was the night was not about us, and it's like we didn't or shouldn't have mattered in any of that. Like, it is what it is. But when he tried to make that thing about like how I just couldn't get over the fact that he didn't move forward with our deal, it's like when he took the jab at my career, that's when I then took the jab at him just being a YouTuber or whatever. Which listen, so am I, but like that's why my whole point was like, it's like, what is this fucking ego that you have? What do you think you're somebody special? You're literally just a dude on YouTube, you know? So it was insanity. But Sheena killed it. Her show was incredible. I'm glad that this all happened after the show. At the end of the night, things were, whatever. It is what it is. Um, it was just like, more serious follow-up. Who is Jake and how did he console you? Jake is a friend and he consoled me by helping me get in the car and make it home. So he got me into an Uber and got me home and yeah. But no, Jake is not anything more than like a friend. Steven was gonna come with me. Steven, who I just spent the weekend in Vegas with, he was Faces by Bravo. He was gonna come with me and then like was exhausted because he was also working and we did Vegas and he was just it was a long weekend. Like the fact that I even went to Sheena show and then Andy also went to the Streamies that he did the red carpet for. So oof. Literally oof. Oof, 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 oof. But needless to say, I don't think we will ever be friends again. I think at this point the friendship is done. I don't think that there is any coming back from something like that because I'm just like, listen, you can go around and spread all these rumors, which they denied. They denied that they've ever said anything negative about me or ever spread any rumors about me. I've heard from multiple content creators that there have been rumors that have been spread about me or that they've been told that they're not allowed to collaborate with me and collaborate with them. I've never said that to anybody. I've never made any of my friends choose. I've never made anybody feel like they're in the middle of anything. So I don't think there's any coming back from. I mean, I didn't think that there was any coming back from them spreading that rumor about me trying to have sex with Jason or hook up with Jason or break up their relationship. I still don't even really know because we never really discussed any of it. All I heard was all these other things that I was hearing from other people that were telling me their situation. So it's Mercury retrograde. So it was time to close that chapter. The chapter is closed. The chapter is closed. We're moving forward. We're moving on. Time heals. Listen, my heart is healed. My heart is good. I feel fine. You know, I feel like I'm good moving forward and just not engaging in any of that anymore. Also, again, just not and I even had to go and apologize to the bourbon room afterwards because like I walked up to them and like, listen, you guys, that is not appropriate. And I'm so sorry that that had to happen here. I go, because that's not what tonight's about. And I've always had a great relationship with you guys. Our shows here have always been so much fun. I mean, I literally just did, the show in June at the bourbon room and it was great. And like that was a 2-day event. It just it is what it is. But yeah, I think at this point that chapter is closed. We are moving forward. We are done. Um, I hate that other people had to witness that. Yeah. Zach, if you go to BravoCon, consider doing a show in Vegas one of those days. I def look for you. I don't know. I don't think I would do a live show in Vegas during BravoCon because I feel like so much is going to be going on BravoCon that like I don't want people to feel conflicted with all these different things that they would have to do. I'd rather them just go and enjoy BravoCon. But listen, who knows? You may see me on stage at BravoCon. We'll know. The night is young. We shall see. Stay tuned. Okay, should we talk about other Vanderpump stuff? I mean, flowers to Sheena. She killed it. Her new song is killing it. There was no Vanderpump drama that night from what I saw, but it was also, again, because there was no Schwartz or Sandoval. There was no Billy Lee. Like, everyone that got along was there. James, Lala, Katie, Ariana, Sheena, Brock. So, Kyle Chang. Yeah. So, but Erika was great. Erika was living life. We had a blast. We did Bet It All on Blonde. Teddy and Tamara were so sweet to us. I think Tamara's gonna tear up that reunion. I also saw her reunion dress or the dress that she wants to wear to it, and I'm like, hot, sexy, killing it. Tamara came back. We are here for Tamara. Woo woo. Okay. As you guys know, fall is right around the corner, and HelloFresh is here to help you plan for the busy season ahead with tasty dishes delivered to your door. Simply choose your recipes and pick your delivery date, then lay back and enjoy the last days of summer, knowing dinner is covered. When life gets busy, don't call delivery, get HelloFresh. It's 25% cheaper than takeout and less expensive than grocery shopping, too. So you just choose your recipes and receive fresh, pre-portioned ingredients so you can get cooking quick. Listen, I'm busy with all the content, all my travels lately, the new puppies, setting up my new apartment. The last thing I want to worry about is having to run to the market and go grocery shopping. So, getting HelloFresh delivered to my door is super easy and super convenient. If you guys want to give them a try, go to hellofresh.com/50nofilter and use code 50nofilter for 50% off plus free shipping. Give HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, a try today. That's hellofresh.com/50nofilter, 50nofilter, hellofresh.com/50nofilter. It's also linked in the description below. And use code 50nofilter for 50% off plus free shipping today. Okay, Stassi Schroeder, Jax Taylor, Schwartzy. Let's get into it. So Stassi finally addressed the Rachel interview that Bethenny did with her on her Just Be podcast. And so Stassi was talking about it on her Straight Up a Stassi podcast. And she clearly not a fan of Bethenny and clearly not a fan of this interview because she said that it really made it seem like Bethenny was trying to make Ariana look bad, which I definitely felt like was her intention. She wanted to make Ariana look bad. She wanted Ariana to look like their relationship wasn't that serious. I get she wanted to give Rachel her opportunity to have her moment, right? Cool, cute, whatever. But I just feel like she didn't do any of her research. So a lot of it was weird because she didn't understand the context of a lot of these situations. She was just taking what Rachel was saying at face value, which wasn't the truth because guess what? Rachel happens to lie and lie and lie and lie. I also love that Heather McDonald at Sheena Show dragged Bethenny and dragged Rachel so badly. There was even a moment where she was talking about I hope Sheena releases the full live show because it was good. It was really funny. And Heather killed it. But at one point, Heather was talking about how Bethenny is going to be like Trump one day, where, right now she's ruining reality television. And then eventually she's going to come out in a few years and be like, oh, I know reality television is broken. And I was there for the golden era of television. I was the one leading the charge. I was around when television was great. And now I'm not around because television is not great. When it's no, you're literally trying to destroy reality television. And we're over it, Bethenny, and we're over you. Wow, Bethenny. Wow. Done. 0. So I agree with Stassi. I think Stassi dragging Bethenny was warranted. And Stassi kept saying that Bethenny's interview was so lazy because she literally did no research. She didn't watch the show. She saw the reunion and left it at that. It was, whew. Uh-oh, my phone's blowing up. Everyone's like, oh my God, the tea. Listen, here's the thing. If you're going to accuse me of constantly talking about you on my podcast when I don't constantly talk about you on my podcast, guess what? You manifested it, and here we go. Now we're going to talk about it on your podcast. But what you're not going to do is get in my face and try to get security to throw me out of the venue, which they did not do. I want to be very clear because I'm pretty sure if somebody else is going around and telling that story, somebody else being them, I'm pretty sure they will tell you security escorted me out. I will make it very clear security did not escort me out. And I spoke to the Bourbon Room and I apologized to the Bourbon Room and the staff there for having that scene happen at their venue. So, want to make that very clear because I do have a pre-established relationship with the Bourbon Room. I love the Bourbon Room. They've always been so good to me that I would never want to behave that way. Period. End of story. But yeah, Bethenny was lazy. She had a lazy interview, and I'm over her. I'm ready to move on from her. So I'm glad Stassi dragged her the way that we were all ready to. And Bethenny even came out and she's like, listen, I know what everybody's saying about me, but all of them that are dragging me on their podcast, they were begging me to be on their podcast before. They were begging me to come on their shows. They wanted me to be on. They wanted to come on my show. I know them. I see what they're saying. I know da 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 da. Bethenny's getting off on all this drama. Also, some drama was between Jax and Schwartz, or so it seemed. So, Bravo Breaking News posted a clip of Schwartz and Jax filming a scene together, and it looked like they were having some sort of amped up or heated discussion. And then it looks like CC Loves You on Instagram she ended up showing a comment where Jax clarified with several fans that he was not in a heated discussion with Schwartz, that he loved Schwartz. They have a big history together. So it looked like Jax is maybe a little amped up, but it doesn't seem like they were actually like fighting or having an issue. It was not an issue that they were having. There was no fight. So Schwartz got his hair toned. So the blonde's looking a little bit better. Listen, everybody's betting it all on blonde these days. Oh, Trish. Thank you, Trish. I just saw the super sticker. I'm so sorry I missed that. Thank you, my love. Trish Hobbs. Trish Hobbs Phillips says, we love you, Zack, even if you are just a guy on YouTube. Listen, I'm humble enough to know who I am, and I'm also confident enough to know when to flex my ego. Is James still with his girlfriend? Yes, Allie was there last night. You're the best. Saw your Instagram pic with Erika. You looked hot. Thank you. I feel like I was lit. It's so funny. We were sharing all the photos from the Vegas show with Erika. And so many, I was lit. Listen, it was Vegas. I did Vegas. But in so many of the photos, I literally just looked like Dorinda Medley. Like just hair, just like a hot ass mess. Like truly just wild. Here, let me show you a couple of these because they're low-key hilarious. My hair was just a hot mess express. I literally just look like Dorinda Medley. I'm like, hi. Like I look sloshed. Like, come on. What is happening? I'm like, Steven, I love you. Oh my God. I'm also like doing a weird thing with like my leg. I think I thought I was cute and like feeling it and feeling myself. I love how like the rest of them are like drunk but like still keep it together, and I'm literally Dorinda Medley. Hair a hot ass mess and everything. There was like a video where I'm like tumbling out, like Scarlett was taking some tumbles. I was living my life. And then we have this cute photo of me living my best life in the backseat. This was night one. So that's how the night ended. Literally, my hair is just hot ass mess express. Sorry for that. Those of you that are listening to this on the podcast and not seeing all the visuals. That's why you need to go on either Spotify to watch it or on the YouTube to watch there. Love HelloFresh. Yay, I love that you love HelloFresh. Classy, Zack. Listen, I never claimed to be classy. I just claimed to be me. Blonde Mafia, let's go. Yes, where is the blonde Taraj? All right, well, at least Zack did not spread himself that wide in Vegas, or at least that we know. I did not. I definitely did not spread myself at all in Vegas. Sadly. Not sadly. I don't know why I said sadly. I lived life. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Nobody ruins a better pick than me, Zack. You're good and gorgeous. Thank you. You don't have the Dorinda face sag though. Oh my God. No, Dorinda's beautiful. She just, has her hair moments. Didn't you say one time that classy isn't part of your brand? Exactly, Urka Pie. I've been very clear. I never claimed to be classy. If anything, I claim to be more trashy than classy. I know. I remember my friend Joshua. He's from the South, so he's a little more Southern and proper. And I'm like, you're, a Southern belle, and I'm just like LA City trash. And that's me. Zack knew every word of it's expensive to be me. That's just who I be. It's expensive to be me. Drop down. Expensive. And I still don't give a All right. On that note, thank you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Collie, you will just listen to the replay. This will be live on the podcast today. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend, whether it was in Vegas or not in Vegas, whatever the vibe was. I'm very happy to report that the weekend was lit. It was wild. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful start to your week. It is Happy Monday. We have another episode of the podcast this Wednesday, and then Friday, per usual, we go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays for our book club, and then for our Thursday, you'll get a rebroadcast up on the podcast. You can always keep up with me at Just Plain Zack all over the internet. You can follow the show you can keep up with me at Just Plain Zack all over the internet, and follow the show at No Filter with Zack definitely give HelloFresh a try. And yeah, my throat is like literally killing me because I lost my voice over this weekend. But that's how you know it was a good time. All right, love you. All right, ciao for now. Talk to you later. Bye 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 bye.